everyone, it's Sally with thepolkadotlife.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States. Thank you for visiting my channel today. When it comes time to celebrate those males in our life, do you ever struggle? Do you ever just think, oh, I am just having a hard time coming up with something that's in their lane of interest or that isn't super girly looking? Well, Stampin' Up! Has just released a new suite of products that will take the struggle right out of it. Let's flip the camera down and get started. Okay, today we are going to be working with Handsomely Suited bundle. And the card we're going to make today really involves a lot of layering of die cuts. We won't even be doing any stamping today. Now for your project, you'll be starting with a whole card front size, which is the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But I kind of made a mistake in my cutting. I did not get that centered very well in that first layer, and I am not about to waste a bit of this paper. So we are going to cut out the lapel for our suit here just by placing it that way. We're just going to be doing a lot of cutting, and then we are going to be doing a lot of layering. And do not get rid of any of your scraps until you're done playing with this suit and die set, because you can use your inside pieces and whatnot on the insides of your card. Try to just slide this over here. I think it films better when it's on this side. I am going to place this little pocket die here. I should have done that and ran it at the same time as the lapel. And I apologize for the noise and the wiggles. That's just part of die cutting. So we have our super cute little pocket. You also want to keep track of your dies. You want to always make sure that you count them when you put them away. Stampin' Up! Is really great and puts the total number of dies on our packages so that we can be sure that we have them all. Hopefully, I'm going to do a better job of getting this centered. I think that looks good. And I'm going to put this up a little bit just to make sure that it cuts the whole way through the top. All right. And you could certainly tape that down if that makes you more comfortable. Just make sure that I wouldn't get the tape on designer series paper because it doesn't peel off all that well. Make sure you keep that. I can see some fun geometric shapes coming with this. And I think this is the last thing that we need to cut. Oh, nope, I am wrong. We have some buttons. We have the collar for our shirt, and we have our bow tie, the center, and the main part of it. And we can just cut those all at the same time. And I did tape those down just because I'm working on a pattern and it just made me feel a little bit better. I am going to probably just leave these buttons right there. I'll put those off camera until we need them. There we go, my poor plate. If your dies are sticking, and mine have been for quite a while, I was waiting for celebration, and that's a sign that you do definitely need to buy new plates for your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And when I get my new one, I will make my top plate then become my bottom plate. And that way you always have a nice one on top that's touching your paper, especially when you're doing foils and that kind of thing. That's important. And we are going to bring in our glue. Just our regular multi-purpose glue. Of course, you could use tape runner or whatever you are comfortable with. That works as well. But there are some tiny areas, so that's why I think that the glue actually works best. We are going to be working on a Night of Navy card base today. And we are going to start by simply adhering our shirt layer. Now, I could have used a smaller piece since not all of it will show, but I think that that's going to make things a little lumpy and bumpy if we do that. And I'm trying to go for a clean feel. And this is actually a card front size, which is another reason we want to use that Tombow. When we get this on here, we want to be able, well, goodness, this is exactly why. Let me put a little bit more here, just because I want this to be able to move around. And even if it dries a little tad lumpy, there's going to be so many layers on here that you're not going to see. And I should have started out a little closer to my target. Okay, let's bring this in here and try to get it lined up better. I am so used to doing just a card front size or a 5 1/4 by 4 size first mat that I just kind of default going to. That's how I try to line it up. And that is not the case today. Super, super, super. Okay. I'm going to double check this. And since we have so many other layers going on, I normally love my snips, but when it comes to just trimming a little bit off here, I like the long bladed scissors. They just, that way it just takes a few snips. All right. Now we're just going to kind of lay this on here. My daughter works in Miami at a high-end store, and they always just have, I think because it's Miami and just the style of store it is, the whole mall there is just designers and whatnot. They always have a lot of bolder prints maybe than I would choose, definitely than my husband would choose. And so I thought, oh, that inspired me. I always love to look when I go at all the different textiles and different patterns and whatnot in the store. And so I think that that really is what, it just inspired me today to make this card. Your other ones that you're going to see at the end of the video, the other things were a little more subdued, more of what you would consider traditional menswear. But I thought this is just so fun, and we're always looking for ideas for those masculine cards. And again, this is that card front size. I think we want to make sure that folded side is the one that's really covered well, because we can trim on this side if we need to. We can't really trim our card apart on that other side. Oh, so fun. So, so fun. And see, I can see, I'll probably lay this on the trimmer when I'm done, just to give it just a tiniest of a little buzz, or I might just hand trim that. Now let's put our shirt collar on. just kind of want to get a feel for that. And I think that I do want to put a dimensional on each side of that shirt collar. Because, you know, usually, especially if you send them to the cleaner to be done, their collars are nice and starched and pressed. And I think that that would be great. I'm wanting that wiggle room today, so I am going to put some glue on here. And I've got to turn this to where I can see it. I apologize. But I know I want to take it, and I want this to be flat up here. And I have a little excess glue I'm just going to get with my fingernail. I was a little too zealous with my liquid glue, which if y'all watched me, you know that's a thing. Y'all never do that, do you? So there, isn't this just starting to take such a sweet shape on this card? I will try to do better on gluing this particular. We're going to take the lapel and we're just going to put, you have to have enough that it sticks, but you don't want it oozing out, especially from these little pieces. The first one I did not glue this bottom section, and I might just save the tip after it's dry and put just a little, lift it up from the bottom side. You just want to be careful. You know, like I say, designer series paper is not the same thickness as our cardstock. And so you just have to treat it with a little more tender, loving care. And it looks like I need to slide this side down quite a bit. My hands are covered in ink because I have just had the best couple days actually playing with this set. And this is the other, it just gets, you just have to finagle around with this a little bit. I'm going to loosen this up. I should have started at the bottom a little bit better with that point coming in there. So I want to get this up before it gets too dry. It really isn't difficult. I just should have paid better attention. I know better. This should have started down here, matching that up. We can always work with the top and trim it around if we need to. And as long as you're using the same pattern on your lapel as your jacket portion, then you'll be fine. And if this has just a little adhesive, I'll just get that with my gum eraser later. But that is so, so sweet. I love it. This jacket also reminds me, we used to live in Louisville, Kentucky for many years. And this reminds me of a very traditional derby suit for men. I mean, you see I guess the blue and white seersucker would also be the actual traditional favorite, but they're getting bolder. The men are in their fashion choices. And so a few years ago, we went back and went to the derby, and this was just so fun. Now, I have my pocket. And if you're going to put a square in it, you just want to make sure that you don't adhere that center portion down. I kind of am on the fence about it. I have not decided yet if I want to put a pocket square on this one because it has so many patterns going on. You want to remember that the pocket on a man's suit is always on the left side. I'm just going to cut the corner off of my dimensional sheet. I need just a little tiny bit to pop up this center portion of my tie. It's so cute. We're just going to simply, you could do this either way actually. Maybe just because when you tie it, it kind of like that look. Let's do that. And I actually haven't used this bow tie yet on my, as a die cut. So let me see. I don't know that I love that. It might just drive me nuts. Of course, it's not, the pattern isn't going to line up this way either. That's just the way. I don't know how, when guys do it, they can get away with it. When girls do it, then it looks awful and we, you know, get the fashion police called on us. Let's see here. How is the best way that I want to put that on? Okay, my husband doesn't wear bow ties, so I'm not exactly sure where the real legal placement for this would be, but I think it would be just right in this area. And so I may need just a little bit of a dimensional for under that portion as well. And I apologize if it is noisy or if you hear some background noises. My husband works from home right now. Like many of you have spouses and children working from home. And so it kind of sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher is underneath my office. So that's, if you hear something, that is what is going on. Well, that's slid. I don't like that. Let's do this. I think this is probably the best placement for this tie. My husband doesn't wear bow ties, so I'm not super familiar with how they should go on. My son-in-law does. I guess I'll have to get out a picture and see exactly how that goes. But I think that looks cute the way that it is. And then to just finish up, we have some little buttons. And they actually kind of emboss as well. I guess I kind of just need to see what exactly, where all I need a button. One of the courses we were able to take in high school, actually it was in English of all things, was a class called Logic, and it always talked about, or I think one of the things we talked about was men's clothing and how there was always a standard for that. I'm not really sure what the logic was behind it. I'm sure it was just a standard, and so that it could be manufactured easily in different locations and it would always be the same. That would be my guess. Been too many years, but I do remember parts of that. I wish I remembered all of it. That is just so fun. It's so cute. Now, I could have used an adhesive sheet to put those down, and maybe I should have, but I just have a little glue bottle here, and it came, I got it off Amazon, it was empty, and I just simply filled my Tombow in it, and it just gives me a little bit different mechanism for putting that out. So we're going to use our putty end, and just put a little tiny drop of that glue. And my spacing will probably be off. I feel they would be closer together maybe on the jacket. Plus, that's all the real estate that we have right there to put these. I think even men's clothes has a standard of how many buttons go down a shirt and those types of things. I feel like men's clothes are made so much better. They just seem to be much more durable. Of course, that's probably for an obvious reason, but I don't know. It just seems, of course, we as women like to change what we wear through the seasons, whatnot. At least my husband very rarely ever buys new clothes unless I just tell him, look, this is what I bought you, because otherwise he would wait until everything was threadbare, and then you have to go buy all their clothes new. I learned that lesson a long time ago. I am sure some of you can relate. And don't forget about Celebration right now, going on with our free gifts and whatnot. When you spend at the $50 level, then you get to earn a free gift. Also, Celebration is the very best time of year to join. Just because you join Stampin' Up! Does not mean that you need to have parties or do videos. It's just simply a discount shopping thing where you will start out getting a discount on your product, and you can actually earn more than as you go on. If you want to do that, you will not. If you're like me, you will not have an issue with that because I've fallen so in love with these products. Now I just need to decide if I want to do a pocket square. I'm going to think about that for a little bit. I'm just not sure. I might just have to sit with this with all these patterns going on. Definitely think if I do one, it will be a solid color. What you can do is you can take the necktie and use that die and just cut out a couple of the bottoms, or you could actually also use the bottom of the pocket with this point. There is another piece that I saw somebody saying kind of looks like the Superman insignia, that shape. I don't know what it would be called. And they said that was for the pocket square. Well, I tried that, and actually what it is it's the knot in the big necktie is what that is. So you can either cut out one or two of these, or one or two of the necktie, the points, and then just insert them down in there. And that can make your pocket square. There are a lot of nice greetings with this set as well. I will finish the inside off camera. There are Father's Day greetings and birthday greetings, and I will take and see if I need to trim up any of these sides and all of those things. I want to show you some of the other cards that I made. Here is the more traditional suit coat when you think about a man going to work or whatnot. And I actually stamped one of those neckties and cut it out just so it would have a little bit of a pattern on this tweed and the traditional white collared shirt. And this one, I just simply put "You're the best" is one of the greetings. There are, like I say, there are Father's Day greetings and birthday greetings, and I'm not sure how I will be using this card, so I might just wait and add the sentiment when I go to use it. And here's just a simple card, layers. I used this "Have a Happy Father's Day Handsome, and I stamped that in basic gray first, and then separately I stamped it in the Misty Moonlight, and I just cut that out and layered that on with some dimensionals just to give it some little dimension and height. I used some of our in color enamel dots here, and I just love the papers that are with it. They're so pretty. And I put "You're the Best" on the inside of that one. And for envelopes, I just simply stamped these because the paper is so pretty and it takes a lot of it to do the layering of these suit coats. And so you want to save your paper. So here are our cards today. I think they're really fun. I have seen graphics where you can take this, don't do the lapel, leave the lapel off and leave this off, and you can raise this part up a little bit higher so it has a little bit less of a neckline, and you can make a scrub for a physician or a nurse or some other healthcare professional and have the little pocket on it. I've seen some scrubs with it on each side, some with it just on one side, but that's a really cute idea if you wanted to maybe make a thank you card and send a note to your favorite healthcare professional right now. They were all working very hard, long days, long hours. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.